Alright, thank you guys for coming back and watching these videos. It means a lot to me. This video is going to be pretty much a redo of my getting started with Game Creator 2. I've had a whole nother year to learn a lot more about it, and I would just love to show you guys in a more simple and probably faster video. That being said, I am going to start off with a brand new scene. There is literally nothing here. And we're going to start off with the install. So, find it in your package manager here. We're going to import it. Alright, and once it is done importing, we are going to install and upgrade the new packages. And it should restart Unity, and then we will have to re-import Game Creator 2 just after, so I will come back when it's there. Alright, and then when this warning pops up, we are going to click yes, and then it will restart. And I'm also going to install Stats 2. I highly recommend buying Stats 2. It is the only important one. I wouldn't even bother with Inventory 2. It can all be done within Stats. It's a must-have. You can't do much. Well, I mean, you can do a lot with Game Creator 2, but as soon as you add Stats 2, that's just the cherry on top. Alright, so now that we are back here, we are going to find Game Creator 2 again and import it for real. Alright, and now we are back on this warning again. We are still going to hit install and upgrade, and then import it. And again, we're getting Stats 2. I'm not really going to use it in this video, but I want to reiterate about how important it is to use with Game Creator 2. If you have the money, get it now. Don't bother with Inventory 2, not until there's some real videos out there that can help explain it, because from what I understand, not a lot of people understand it. So, there's not much to learn on it. Me, however, Stats 2 I've mastered, and I will show you guys everything I know in upcoming videos and my upcoming survival series that I'm putting out. I've made a couple videos on that now. I haven't published them. I'm going to wait for a couple more and then start putting them out. So, that being said, get Stats 2 for Game Creator 2 if you don't. So once this is done installing, I'm just going to install this real fast and not use it. I might make an entire other video just Stats 2 alone, but for the most part all my videos already use Stats 2, so I'm guessing if you're watching this you probably have it. I'm going to shut up and come back when it's done installing. Okay, I just finished installing Game Creator 2 and Stats 2. So right off the bat, I'm going to just create a plane right away, just so I can showcase characters. And I'm just going to make this a little bigger and change the material so we can see a little bit better. That is not what I want. Okay, I'm just going to delete that. Recreate another plane. I'm going to change the material of it so we can see it. Alright, that works. We'll just go with this one. Alright, so with Game Creator 2, if you are new to it, this is how you use it. You're going to right click, we're going to go right to Game Creator 2, go to Characters, create a player. Alright, that's us. He's already controllable just like that. Before we even do anything, we're going to right click, we're going to create a camera shot. Alright, this camera will let you choose between different camera views for your player. I'm going to make it our main camera as well. And we're going to start off by showcasing third person. And let's show you that real fast. So, as you can see, there's many settings that you can tinker with for it, like your orbit, your zoom, looks, viewports, all sorts of stuff. This is our third person camera right off the bat. It's a little wonky, but that's because we haven't tinkered with any settings. It will clip through stuff. You know, you just go to your camera, and then you just turn off clipping, and that should stop that right away. Comes with a zoom already. You might want to offset it to like the top of your right shoulder just through settings within it. so it's more of a third person style, but that's third person. My personal favorite, the follow target, and because I like it so much, I already know the settings I want to use for it. So I'm just going to change this to 5 and 4, so it's more of like a top-down Diablo style view. And that's this one right here. Super easy to use. And there's also first person. I will do that real quick. It is not the best at the moment, but through a couple different settings we can make it pretty good. So here is first person. Okay, and automatically you'll see that it will clip our hands through the camera. You walk backwards, it will show you actually walking backwards, which we don't like. So in order to fix that, we will go to our player, we'll go to our rotation, and we will change that to towards direction. And yeah, towards direction of the camera. Alright, and that should fix our first person problem and have our player walking backwards. See, as you can see, it doesn't show him walking backwards anymore. He's moving the same way, walking backwards properly. So yeah, that is first person. I'm going to go back to follow camera, just because that's my favorite. Change back these to my settings. Alright. Let's see now. And right off the bat too, Game Creator's nice because they have their own little hub here. And this is stuff that other players have made ready to go. So like you can get different, so I had stats typed in, I'm going to get rid of that. So you can have all sorts of pre-made actions and triggers, and I will show you guys about actions and triggers right now. So I'm going to make an empty here called ragdoll. Alright, in that ragdoll I'm going to create a 3D object. I'm going to make a cube because I'm not sure exactly where it will be if we don't have an object showcasing where it is. And in that cube, I'm going to create an empty with a collider. And this is your simple, most basic collider script, or collider trigger, okay? So I'm going to change this to 2 by 2 by 2. So you enter this collider, it will trigger an action. This action being a ragdoll. So we have the collider set to is trigger, and this is how you do basic visual scripting in Game Creator. So I'm going to type in trigger, and you can have triggers that start right off the bat. You can have triggers that start when players enter the trigger, triggers that start when the object is enabled, but this one will be a simple player enter trigger collider. So we're going to type in tag, and then it's going to be on trigger enter tag, and we're going to change that tag to a player. We're going to give our player the player tag too, so now he can actually set this trigger off. So on trigger enter tag player, we will ragdoll our character. Very basic trigger, but this is how it works. So you're going to go near that, and we're going to ragdoll. And as you notice, my player was not rotating because I changed the first person camera. So I'm going to go back to our player, go back to our rotation, click on pivot. I'm also going to enable our player to be able to jump. So can jump, yes. And let's see. I wonder if jump is already set in these preset controls or if we have to add it ourselves. No, so it's not. So I'm going to show you guys how to add custom inputs, stuff like that with Game Creator. I'm going to create an empty. And again, this is pretty unorganized. You guys are going to have to do that yourself. So this is going to be our jump input. Alright, so we're going to add a trigger on input. And our button will be keyboard press, space, add instruction, jump for our player. So now when I hit space, I should be able to jump. Super easy visual scripting. I'm going to jump into that ragdoll now. How about that? Just from what I've showed you, you can already create some kind of like wipeout core style game like Fall Guys or something. Alright. And if you're anything like me and you design for mobile, I'm going to show you right now. This comes within a built-in mobile controller, so if you go to your player motion, or no, sorry, your player where it says directional, you're going to change the input move from primary motion to mobile. Left stick, if you're making a, landscape game, not portrait. And already off the bat, okay, so that doesn't work because I don't have an event system created. So I'm going to create a canvas anyways because I wanted to show you mobile buttons. So we're going to create our canvas, make our event system replace with the new input system. Now that should work. There you have it. So now we have mobile controls. Now spacebar obviously wouldn't work for mobile, so we're going to add a mobile button for spacebar. Sorry, not for spacebar, for jumping. So in our canvas, and huge, I mean this has nothing to do with game creator, and I'm going to show this in every video I make, but it's important to scale with screen size. We're going to go with 1920 by 1080. Okay, and we're also going to change this to, well, I got to build it for Android, so I'm going to do that real fast and then come back to you guys. So I'm going to click Android and build app bundle, check off, switch platform, and I will be right back. Okay, so we've changed over to Android, and the reason why I do that is just because I never found the help until I figured it out myself, but to get proper scaling on different aspect ratios, my problem with the first 3 games again was, different things were getting cut off on different sized devices. So let's just prevent that altogether right off the bat. So with our panel, that's on stretch, and we are going to create, so for our jump buttons and stuff, I'm going to create an empty, and I always create empties before I start any kind of section of my UI. So this will be the bottom right section of the UI, or otherwise I guess our control UIs. So controls UI, and I'm going to find that, and I'm going to scale that right up to our entirety of the canvas, or the panel I guess. I'm going to keep that to stretch, and I'm going to create another empty called, I guess, button controls, and this is going to be anchored to the bottom right. Alright, we're going to get that down there. And then under button controls, we will create a game creator button. And I'm going to import Text Mesh Pro because you always need Text Mesh Pro. I'm going to drag that under button controls, center that out. I'm going to make it a little bigger, put that right about there. And I'm going to type in jump in here just so we know it's our jump button. Oops, did not mean to hit play. Oh dear. Meant to hit game. Alright, well anyways, that's our jump button, and that button, instead of having our spacebar input for that, we're going to add an instruction to the button, and that will be jump. Super easy. Let's give it a shot. I'm going to change my player controls off of left stick just simply so I can showcase moving and jumping at the same time. Can't really do that doing that with my mouse, so let's just put this back to primary motion, which is under usage, primary motion. Alright, so we are moving around now. Let's just assume our left hand is right down here using a joystick, and our right hand's over here ready to hit some buttons. Now we're moving, and now we're jumping. Alright, and let's add another button real fast. So for button controls, this will be button jump, and let's duplicate that, call this button, and let's see, button evade. I'm going to change the text to this to evade, and we're going to move this, say, right up here. And the reason why I was saying, anchor this to the bottom right, because this is why. A lot of the times you know, say if you're on free aspect, this is a good way to test it. These would just fly wherever. So these are always going to stay in the bottom right no matter what screen size you have now. Okay, that is why we do that. That is what screwed over my first 3 games, and now I don't have those game files to update. So those games are trash now just because of a UI that's broken. So don't forget that. Always remember to do that right off the bat. And just keep at that. So this evade button, we are going to take out the jump and we're going to put in something called dash. Alright. And for dash, it lets you add animations and dashes you away. I don't think I have any animations installed. I do. I don't. So these are all, I guess, game creator animations. I don't know if they have any kind of, say, roll button. So they have a kick, jump, ground, stand, face up, air. Let's see if we can find something. They have crouch. I might use crouch instead and not make it a dash, but I'm going to show you what the dash button does anyways, even without an animation. You would use it with some kind of rolling animation though. Yeah, so they don't seem to have anything, but it should still work. It will just simply move our character in a direction really fast. Okay, I accidentally put an animation on there, so let's just take that off. And this will be our dash button, so see how it gives us a little boost. But just imagine that little boost is you rolling. Okay. I mean, what does it look like with some random... There you go. So let's just pretend that was a roll. And if you had it set like the first person controls, where if you walk backwards, your character remains backwards and doesn't look backwards, they have options for that. So like a Souls game where you're auto locked onto a target, so you're looking at him but moving backwards, you can have an animation for going backwards. So that's 2 basic buttons made. And you can make that with an input as well, like we did earlier with the jump input there. Just on input, keyboard press, whatever you want, whatever instruction you want. And then one last thing I'm going to show you before I wrap this video up. I'm going to show you, I guess, another, pretty basic actions and triggers. This one's going to be like a patrol type system, say for an NPC or something. So I'm going to create an empty. I'm going to call it path1. Kind of butchered that there, and I'm going to add a marker to it. Alright, and then this path1, I'm going to move over here. I'm going to aim it this way. I'm going to duplicate that, put it over here, aim it that way. I'm going to create a new game creator character, but not a player this time, it's going to be a character. And did not mean to name him W, but whatever. So this character, I'm going to add a trigger. And this trigger is going to be set off on start. So on start, I'm going to wait 1 second. And then I'm going to move this character. So move to. And instead of the player, I'm going to name it self, because I am making this trigger right on the character itself. If you don't have it set on self, you would go to the character, click character, and then find the character like that. Okay. But for now, I am just going to use self. And we are going to move this character to path 1, that marker. You're going to wait for it to arrive. And if you use a 0 stop distance, it might not work properly. So I'm going to use a 1. So now, right off the start, he's going to wait 1 second. He's going to move himself to path 1. He's going to wait 1 more second. And move himself to path 2. Alright. And then I'm going to restart those instructions. I touched down more of this on an earlier video, but just showing you guys just basically, a quick get started with Game Creator, just some simple things you can do. Maybe you're making some kind of easy game where it's like you touch a player, you fall, you die, you hit a box, you fall, you die, or they hit you, whatever. Because when I first figured Game Creator out, my mind wasn't the best. I was thinking simple. I was making like little maze games, little, not parkour, but obstacle style games, run past like a wall before it closes on you, otherwise you'd ragdoll and get reset. So already with this, you're pretty much set to make a very basic game. I hope you guys enjoyed this. That is my new Getting Started with Game Creator 2. We touched down on cameras, movement, triggers, etc. And I will see you guys in the next video, and we will touch down on some more stuff. So for now, have a good one, guys, and expect my survival series to come out soon, my brand new one. Anyways, see you guys later. Thanks for watching.